was a single mother of 3 children. My day started like any other day. I was up at 4:30. I was at the gym at 5. I worked out till 6:30. I was home. I put 3 kids on the bus after breakfast and getting them all squared away. Then I went to work at 8:30 as a prosecutor in Stafford County. And when we get to work, we hit the ground running. And I was in court by 9 o'clock, trying cases, putting people in jail, I hope, doing what you all would expect a prosecutor would do. And then by about 11 o'clock, I was preparing to go for a meeting with a detective at the sheriff's office. I I'm a chatter. As an attorney, as I'm a chatter. So I was chatting and running a little bit late. So I went to grab the phone and tell my detective, I'm running a few minutes late, but I will be there. I'm not standing you up. And then I dropped to the floor. I had a massive stroke. I lost all the feeling on my right side. I could not move my right leg or my right arm. I could not speak. And for someone who talks for a living, not being able to communicate is pretty devastating. It was overwhelming to me that I was not able to communicate. I remember trying to communicate with my eyes, telling people, God, I can hear you. My brain is working. I'm here. But I couldn't communicate. Luckily, I had a stroke around first responders. So if you're going to have a stroke around first responders. The sheriff's office was there in no time. The ambulance was there in no time. And it was a Thursday before a 4-day weekend for me. And my children were with their dad that weekend, and I had met a fabulous fellow, and we had plans to go away for the weekend. My bags were packed in my car. I had a court at 9, 11 o'clock meeting with my detective, 12 o'clock lunch with my fella, and then leaving for a long weekend. I can remember thinking, whatever's wrong with me, we've got to get it corrected because I've got to meet my fella for lunch. And the sheriff's office, and I said the ambulance, everyone was there asking all sorts of questions like, can you say your name? Do you know what year it is? Finally, one of my closest and dearest friends said, we're not going to answer any more questions. Can you just send an ambulance? Once we were in the ambulance, we passed Stafford Hospital Center, and my friend who was riding the ambulance said, why are you passing the hospital? We're passing a hospital. And luckily, the people who were attending to me knew that I needed to go to Mary Washington Hospital because they had a stroke center there. When I arrived, I can't tell you all that they did to me and for me. Some of the things that I remember, like most women, I have no interest in my weight being announced to an entire group of people. And they stripped me down and hoisted me up in something like a cattle hoist so they could weigh me and give me the exact amount of medication I needed. And I can remember thinking, is there no decorum? Must you scream my weight out to everyone in the room? I remember my best friend leaning over and saying, your mom's going to be so proud. You have great underwear on. Perfect. So your mom's right. Always wear clean underwear. You never know what's going to happen. And I remember they showed me a picture. It was a 2-sided picture. And my stroke affected my right side. So this picture had 2 sides. On the left side was a picture of a little girl standing up, reaching for a cookie up in a like cabinet of sorts. On the right side of the picture was a woman standing. She had heels on, and she was washing dishes. And I can remember I could describe the left side of the picture. Even though I could see both sides, I could only describe the left side of the picture. And then once they gave me TPA, which is the miracle drug for me, I started being able to describe the right side of the picture. And even though the nurses and doctors did not know me from anyone, interacting with my family and friends, I sort of got to know my personality a little bit. And all of a sudden, I remember looking at the right side of the picture, and I could see it. And I said, that is a very sexist picture. And someone said, she's bad. And obviously, as you know, I had a phenomenal recovery as a result of everyone's attention to me. And I want to thank you all, because it's people like you that raise money for the American Heart Association that results in them being able to do the research that saves lives like mine. Because if it weren't for that, I might not be walking or talking. I might not have an opportunity to enjoy my fabulous family, because the end of my story is that I had been dating that fellow for a little while, a year or so, and I was right in the midst of the emergency room, could not speak, could not move, and he says to me, "This is ridiculous, why are we waiting? Will you marry me?" And I could not answer him because I could not speak. And so he said, "I'll take your silence as a yes." And if he were here, he would tell you, that's the only time you ever ask an attorney to marry you, is when she can't speak. It's the only time you get a word in edgewise, and she knows she can't say no. So as a result, I now have a second chance at life. I'm married. I have 3 of my own children, and I have an additional child as a result of my marriage. I have 15 and 13-year-old boys and 2 10-year-old girls. And as I was saying, if it weren't for people like you, people like me might not be here. So, from the bottom of my heart, and for all those people who aren't in the same position as me, who can't be standing and can't be speaking, but who are alive, thank you so much for everything you've done for us.